Hey, Nahal.
Hi everyone.
Okay, so I'm gonna introduce everyone except Lori gets to introduce herself, um, just to make things a little faster. Lori, I've worked starting with Ezekiel the longest. Like he and I are like brothers from another mother, and he would never say that. But he's a man of few words. He just like all about action. He's like Argentinian Buddha. He's like he's in Rosario, in South America, and he's been with us for how long has it been, Ezekiel?
5 years, 6 years.
Yeah, he means too long, but we love Ezekiel. He's like awake when Huda and Arif are sleeping, which makes me very happy. So Arif is my business partner in Indonesia, and then here for WD Clinic. He is the CTO for WD Clinic. He is a master programmer. I knew him for 5 years before we became partners, which kind of like was kind of nice because it was just natural. I thought he was my age, not because he looked that, but just he's so smart. But he's only 32, which kind of freaks me out. Basically, none of the engineers are over 32, and and then I encouraged Arif to start Walking Doctors, and so we haven't made it big yet, but we have some really cool things happening. Essentially, we license in a US WD Home products or W Health products to Arif, and he basically figures out how to make us go because I try to do it forever in Indonesia, and as a Taiwanese American, I would, Arif is always telling me to not talk to anyone in Indonesia that we're doing business with, and he's kind of right. And then Huda was brought in by Arif because we needed help, and Huda's only 22, and he just finished his thesis, and he's kind of our AI expert. I mean, Arif helps him. When we use AI, it's Huda, and it's all over the place. I wouldn't say it's all over the place. I say it's more and more, and I think what I love about our use of AI is not just a a box, a magic box where you just like mix things up and then you say, oh, we use AI. We use it very strategically, and we use it to enhance what we as humans can do. But it would just take forever. Example is he's able to take the chart that we construct in WD Home and to put it into words that the patient can understand. And then he's able to look at charting relative to our checklist and pick the right ICD-10 code because there's 50,000 codes. Just really modern, and yeah, we love Huda. Never complains. The opposite of me. It's kind of, he's young, he's handsome, never complains. He's opposite of me. Okay, and then Nahal is like medical director in North America. Nahal was my best student actually for in the 5 years I taught at NYU. She just, yeah, she's great. So I can basically, she's the, I would say she's, and it's probably really offensive, Nahal, I'm sorry. She's basically the female better version of myself, who yeah. So she can do anything, and I like that. And then she also sets boundaries. She's like, stop doing that. I'm not you. You have to. And so let me just start with, I met Lori just tangentially, um, because our future is claims as not the conduit for money, which would be nice, but it's really the conduit for quality. Like if we cannot weave in how doctors are paid, then we can't ever do quality. If we can't weave those two, it's never going to happen. And case in point, we worked for 7 years in Indonesia, and I seriously think we've made nothing. I actually know we've made nothing. We've lost $500,000, but we have kind of a good system as a result. So then I met Lori. Lori, go ahead. Why did I even like cause pain in your very organized household?
Yes, so we met because I am the coding educator at Valley Health System, and I have the pleasure of educating physicians and advanced practice providers regarding coding and documentation and things to that nature. Um, I would like to think I'm all things revenue cycle. I've been doing this a long time. I've been in the industry for about 30 years, just learning different things, different aspects of the process. Really happy to be working with everyone. And if my experience can help supplement, this wonderful team, then I'm very happy to do
Oh,
so.
you're so gracious. Just to put you on the spot, Lori's really kind of taught me in a very light-handed way. She basically says, "You're wrong," but she never says that. It's like, I wouldn't look at it that way or something like that. And so it's what we have, what Arif and Hood and I have put together is from Lori. I would have put it together anyway, but it'd been wrong. So we're getting closer. In fact, Lori, why don't you just comment to the team, because Ezekiel is not as involved, Nahal is not involved in this piece, and Huda and Arif have to just take my word for it, which they're kind of learning not to. Like, what are your first impressions of where we are with regards to this biller?
So I like the concepts of it in counting certain things and assigning values and then seeing what that totals out to in the end. I think that's essentially the same way that coders analyze documentation and break it apart and assign it into categories and then determine levels of service or whatever it is. So I think that piece is exciting, even just to show you like the E&M calculator through AAPC and kind of see where it fits into how you designed your calculator. That was really interesting for me.
And you can see, like, Lori's like Nahal. She's kind of careful. She's not going to say like me, like, "Oh, that's the best thing I've ever seen," even if she's thought that. I don't think she thinks that yet. She's kind of perfectionist. But let me just put it this way. Lori has 4 jobs. All of those jobs is to code the patient visit for submission. And what we're doing next week, which is why I kind of wanted to meet, is we're automating that process. And we have the person who's doing that as a profession to help us do that. That's kind of weird, right? You're kind of unemploying yourself at getting a bigger job, So, I mean, that's the ideal, right? And to have Lori to go around saying like, "Hey, dude, you spend 7% of all your all your revenue on billing." So, and I would also say, I don't even push the clients and saying, unemploy the biller. I never say that.
Right.
I just say, you can decide what you want to do. Or maybe a lot of practices try to do it themselves. They're not coders like Lori. They're billers, right? They're just like trying to, like me, just put everything like... I think let's put it this way. 9 months ago, I was trained by Lori to do coding, or I don't think I was trained by you. I think I was trained by your colleague.
I trained you.
Well, good. Well, because I didn't learn anything. Because doctors cannot learn. I mean, seriously, even today in my practice, in the inpatient, which is like it's kind of a revenue maker for the hospital, at least by the salaries of the doctors, we still are, I was told by the person that's been there longest, just add as many ICD-10 codes as possible, and you're going to get more and more money. It's not true. It's not true, right? It's not necessarily, it can give you some of the glue, but for someone like Lori who sees like 10 ICD-10 codes on a delivery, like, I don't know. I think it can lead to issues. So my point is that if there is a Lori who is so logical, right, whose whole profession is to put together the code, not because she feels, put together the claim, not because she feels good or bad that day, or she wants to cheat the system, it's because that is the rule, that is the process, then we can automate it. It's big. It's big. If next week goes well, in 5 months we're all wearing, gold-plated T-shirts. If you like that, if that's what floats your boat, okay? It's just like it's good, and more so, we get to finally push the quality piece of what Walking Doctor stands for. It is the conduit for quality. There's nothing else. So I wanted to just really just have people introduced, but also Ezekiel is going away next week, and he deserves it. But then that scares me because then Ezekiel's gone. But then there's Arif and Huda, but they're practicing Ramadan, so they're always starving to death and praying, and that's not that in a nice way. They're starving to death and looking for food and praying in a good way, right? But I have been actually I had this funny interaction with Arif. It was so funny. I'm saying he said, "Oh, I'm looking for food." I'm like, "What do you mean you're looking for food? It's 5 o'clock." He said, when you're so hungry, you can't necessarily prepare the food, right? Because you're so hungry, or you don't want to be preparing the food when you can't eat it. And then, oh, by the way, when you finally want to get the food, everyone's in line in Indonesia because it's the 7th most populous place in the world. And so it's just like, and then you're praying, and you understand it's praying. And I remember I tried to follow the practice when I was in Indonesia. I just did it one time out of 3 years, and I remember at 2 weeks, I was like, it was spiritual. Like, my body was a vassal. It didn't matter. I was rising up. I wasn't even a Muslim. I'm like, I don't care about this body. This is just, it really was spiritual. And I actually regretted that I didn't have the Muslim faith behind me, that I could back it up besides some challenge in my life or something like that. I lost 15 pounds. I developed benign hematuria. I did all these things, but so it's a challenge, right? We're in a challenge. There's never a good time with me. Oh, and then, ask Nahal. Oh, ask Ezekiel. Like, at the last minute, I'm going to say, by the way, we have to do this. And then we're like, Mother, of Mary, this is not going to go well. So let me stop right there. And I want Ezekiel from North America side, WD Clinic, for just like the functional things. Tell us where we are, what worries you, and maybe show us some cool things that you've been doing. I think the team wants to see it. And Arif, I want you then to represent the Indonesia side about how comfortable are you with Ezekiel disappearing, what's going to happen, because the implementation is next Wednesday. And it's my second visit to LA. We want it to go well. We want it to go well. It's not gonna be perfect. Nothing's perfect, but we want it to go well. And we do have great partners. They even said to me, "Hey, if you screw up, we still have our old, Office Ally." By the way, we're replacing Office Ally. That's a $200 million platform, right? It's a great story already. And then when I go in the Bay in 2 weeks, I'm going to get someone off of eClinicalWorks. That's also a great story, right? These are big platforms. Point Click Care is my next thing because I hate Point Click Care. I mean, they're on the target. So we're going in the right direction. So Ezekiel, take it over. Where are we? What are you working on? And maybe you should do one screen share of something you're excited about.
Yeah, I think we're okay. I'm working on that last minute feature.
What last minute feature are you talking about, Ezekiel?
Moving the necessity to have a visit open to add history items.
What he means by that is that I've asked him, right, when the visit is closed, to be able to download immunization schedule, to download ADL requirements, to be able to download all PDFs, and to be able to list out doctors and specialists, right? Because I find out I needed these things for these annual wellness visits for older people. So the idea that our chart is dynamic when it's when it's closed is kind of different for us. But Ezekiel figured out a way after me pushing him, saying that we must be able to do it. So go ahead, show us.
Yeah, it's scary because it's like a major change in one of the core features. So yeah, it's.
I love when you say scary, Ezekiel. I love it. That's scary. When you say scary, it's actually kind of scary for me. Like twice scary.
Yeah. Okay, one of the first things is the store team stuff. You asked me to do that.
Yeah, it's a requirement because you have to say who are all the specialists taking care of that that patient. The primary care, cardiologist, all those have to be listed, and you have to confirm that you what's the word? You have to reconcile. You have to reconcile in a visit that you checked in.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, this is our own list, so maybe you want to
Oh, that's
check
great.
it up
Okay.
so we can know we need to add something. Just some basic data, and we have the CUDA autocomplete.
Oh, example of Huda. I said, hey, the
Yeah.
client is saying they don't like to put in the address. Can you put the U.S. postal codes autocomplete into our system? He said, what are you talking about? I explained again. He said, okay, let's do it. And he did it like the next day. So we innovate all the time on this kind of stuff.
Yeah. And basically lets us have like this list. Show it here in case you are on the checking your exam and doing your own diagnosis. You can check it here.
Yeah, so that's the exam page. So it's going to be active in the exam page when it's open. Great.
Yeah. The other stuff I'm working on right now is this.
Yeah, I dropped this on Ezekiel last night at 4 p.m.
Yeah. This is for adults, I think.
Yes.
Here
So
you can
cool,
change
right?
it.
I mean, not many people can just do something like this, just to be very systematic about it. Yeah.
And you always have the latest values here to check it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you have to add
Oh.
the fall risks at some point.
Okay, yeah. Same here. The directive.
Oh yeah, the advanced directive was the day before yesterday.
Yeah, and this should show here. Good comfort. I don't know the medical usage of this, so probably Nehal and Wilson will know more. But
Yeah, we love it.
that's that.
We love it.
And let me show you. Let me check the ages. Here, Charles. 12 years old, so it should show the development.
So it's age specific development. Obviously, this is cool, right? And click the reference. The reference is awesome, right? This is what we always forget. We pediatricians. I still can't remember this. I try to memorize this since for the past 25 years. I'm like brain dead. This thing is I'm brain dead. Yeah. It's cool. I love it. Oh, show me your PDF downloader.
PDF
So
documents.
right, because we don't have integrations with every lab, with every whatever, so we can put in various categories all the documents. It's just something that we require to get going, and this is what our competitors do, frankly. So when the doctor goes into the exam visit, they can just look at the labs that were downloaded by the front office. The key part is that Ezekiel's making this available. I think this is true, right? Ezekiel is available in the registration page.
Not in the registration, but you can see it all the time.
But can you download it when the exam's not open?
Yeah.
See, wow, great. And where do you do it from the registration page, or is it just open on
Remember, we'll join the documents and notes tab.
Okay, but I mean, like, let's say it's a day before the patient visits. Can I download documents then?
Yeah, you can.
Sorry, so is this if, for example, someone's done an X-ray outside of the clinic, then they'll send the X-ray via email, or how do they send that to the office to then download it via PDF?
Yeah, it usually comes with the patient just like brings a sack of stuff, but that's another option too. We can also do. Of course, ideally we want the real integration, and,
right?
But we haven't cracked that nut really. Like it's kind of, and even on the billing side, I'm kind of like, I don't know, Laurie, it's probably bad, but I'm like, these are outpatient providers. They're not really gonna get high scores on the data piece, unless it's pediatrics and you're like using the parent to speak on behalf of the kid. You get a pretty high score with that. But I'll probably just hard code that in. You know, anyone less than 12, I'm gonna assume that there's a parent in the room. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Any other questions
Yeah,
for
as you
Ezekiel?
can see, there's no exam open here.
Oh,
you can see my.
so cool.
My
We saw it. That was
console,
great. No, that was really good. Other questions for Ezekiel?
No, that looks great. I really like the milestone tracker for pediatrics. That's amazing.
I was just so glad this morning, Ezekiel, that I erased this last sentence after requesting all this. I erased that thing that said, if you don't want to do the vaccines for the other age groups, don't. I actually kept it because we were actually going to the older person. So, but this, explain what you're doing here. Here, it's so cool. Explain what you're doing here.
Yeah, this is the pediatrics calendar for vaccines. From here, you can add to the history for already administered vaccines, so you can dump that information into the system.
Good. Oh, Ezekiel, I might not make the mandatory for the lot number because, like, if someone tells me they got vaccinated, I don't know the lot number.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would get rid of that, but it's okay to.
I've already.
Yeah, I'd probably get rid of it, frankly, if just because they're not gonna know. Later, you'll know that I'm gonna complicate things because New York State, California State, they have requirements to download through their system, like by the state. So they have an integration. So of course, when they have the integration, if it's gonna auto-populate ours, but let's not worry about that right now. The reality, you have to go to the clinics. Like, I found out that Dr. Liu doesn't give vaccines because it's so hard to keep them up and it slows him down, so he doesn't even do it. If he does it, he'll do a vaccine day and people just come in, but he's not doing pediatrics, and so it's really about flu shots. No one really cares about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
So I think that's that from me for now. I'm finishing that ADL stuff.
Yeah, so beautiful. What do you think about our stability for next week when you're like sunbathing somewhere? And
I'm thinking about adding some utility stuff, so in case something goes not so well, we can fix it manually without